What's going on, everyone? So, today is decision day, and we're all on pins and needles, anxiously waiting around. This is the biggest decision since LeBron deciding to come to the Lakers. Forget the whole Miami thing. No, LeBron coming to the Lakers, right? No, but in all seriousness, Dan Hurley, we're waiting around to come to whatever decision he decides to, whether that's stay in UConn and, try to continue his legacy there and continue to build and establish, or make the decision to make the jump and the leap to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, look, I and many, not most of you, we all want Dan Hurley to be a Laker, right? I mean, to be able to come in, reshape, restructure, rebuild this culture. The new CBA just changes the concepts and the way that you structure rosters. Not so much, the top one to three guys, but more so the 4th to 15th, even potentially the 3rd through 15th, right? You're looking at 2 stars, maybe like a third, high quality player, and then basically a bunch of really good, hopefully high powered, just blue chip role players. But you gotta bring in the culture and establishment, because much like the NBA in a lot of ways is going to become, in the sense of college, the revolving door that is the player, right? And again, not so much the top front players, but more so the middle to back end players, right? The 4th through 15th guy. Those are the guys that are going to be cycled. Every 2-3 years, you're going to have a new wave of guys, maybe even sooner than that in some cases. And, Dan Hurley's a guy who, one, coming from a college, university type system, like, he's accustomed to every year he's cycling through 6, 7, 8 new guys, where he's going to have a lot of the same stuff in the NBA, right? Because the new CBA it's so restrictive in how you can build rosters and structure rosters and, put together quality team year in and year out. I mean, the NBA wants to get away from what happened with Boston, right? Where you have basically 5 all-star level players, all NBA level players, all on one team, right? Whether it's all defense or all actual all NBA, right? Like, and the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant. Like, the NBA wants to make sure that doesn't happen, that you aren't building these incredibly stacked teams, and that that there's some real restrictions and punishments, right? They want that more adversity. They want to have every year this cycle of new teams winning championships. I mean, even the last few years, right? You've had a different winner every year. The last time that somebody went back to back was the Golden State Warriors, right? So, like, that's what the NBA wants. The NBA wants the league to every year have, you might be a team that has a chance at winning the championship, but they want as much disparity as possible amongst the NBA. But to me, what Dan does and can provide is he can come in, he can lay the foundation, lay the groundwork, build the system that can kind of help you be one of those teams that are in the hunt every year, and really growing and developing, not so much, again, that 1 through 3, but more so that 4 through 15, right? Like, you're turning draft picks and second round picks, and particularly second round picks, because second round picks don't impact cap. Same, like, the new CBA is very favorable in, like, the second round picks, and the Lakers have been very good at drafting in the second round, right? So to me, like, Dan is a guy that is known to be able to help really develop and mold and shape some of these young players. We're going to need that, right? So I want Dan to come. I hope that he comes. I hope we get the news that, Dan Hurley is a Los Angeles Laker and he is the head coach of the Lakers. Right? I hope that that's his decision. But there is a lot that he's walking away from. And there is a lot you can make a list. Like, and I encourage you, right? I encourage you, make a list of all the reasons why Dan should come, and then make a real list, because I've seen a lot of people go, oh, no, he's going to come because of money, and then he wouldn't come because why wouldn't he? Like, no, I mean, seriously, really sit down and write out all the reasons that he shouldn't, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Like, it's the number of reasons why he should stay is far greater and far outweighs the reasons he should come. And I know a lot of people are like, who turns down 8 years, $100 million, right? Like, he's probably going to make as much that, or at least close, staying in UConn, right? Like, people are assuming that like UConn's just they're just going to keep paying him $5 million a year. No, I mean, he already has an offer on the table to make him the third richest coach in college basketball, which would put him at like $7 million a season, which is only $3 million less. 8 years, 8 years, what, $100 million? That's $12.5 million a year, right? That he'd be making. So $7 million, talking $5 million less. To some people, that's everything, right? I mean, that's a lot of money, right? Like, that is. But for people that are making millions, the peace and the comfort and the happiness, and you got to keep in mind the LA tax, right? California has one of the largest tax rates, right? I mean, Connecticut is like, I think 3% when I was looking it up, right? California is like 10%. It's like, you're basically, he'll end up making more in the long run staying in Connecticut if they give him a price. And that's if they don't give him anything more than what's already offered. Chances are they'll probably get him to, I think Bill Self is making like $10 million or just under, right? So they'll probably get him close to that, if not match it. So he's probably going to make nearly as much, if not more, staying in Connecticut. So the money situation is not what people think. The Lakers, like, again, lots of head coaches turn down the Lakers. Lots of players. We've been in this position how many times? Right? We've been in this position with countless players. Kawhi Leonard, remember Kawhi? He was coming. Lakers missed out on a bunch of free agents and stuff that would have made a lot more sense. And because Kawhi said he was coming, and guess what? He's still on the Clippers, right? Like, we've been in this position time and time again with coaches and players, and it's just, my point is, I don't want people to get their hopes up. If he comes, beautiful, right? Like, if he comes, I'm with it. So a lot of people are like, oh, you just don't want to. No, I do want him to come. I do want him to come. I just don't know if he will. And so many people are willing to just basically lock in that, hey, he's a lock. He's not. Who's turning down 8 years, $100 million? It's like, well, he will, right? Again, you're talking about his legacy. Talking about he's going to make as much, if not more, if you incorporate taxes and everything else. Talking about, like, he's not going to have to deal with the chaos that is LA. He's not going to have to deal with the behind-the-scenes stuff. He's going to have full control. They're going to deal with fans in a week. Him having one bad week and them going, get rid of this guy, right? Like, the list goes on and on for reasons. Supposedly his family doesn't want to move out there. It's just, there was talks about him going to Kentucky. And he was like, nah, my wife don't want that. So, I'm going to stay. Kentucky would have paid him $10 million a year. Like, it's just, again, I'm not saying that he's not going to come, right? We're waiting for a decision for a reason, because it could go either way. But there's been a lot of word, and there's a lot of people in Connecticut. Now, granted, being in UConn, I'm sure that they all want him to stay. So it makes sense that there'd be a lot of reports of like, he's not leaving. But there's a lot of word that says he's not leaving. And all I'm saying is it's not a lock. A lot of people are playing this off like it is a guarantee. And it's not a guarantee. Again, he very likely could just stay in UConn, still get paid, go on an opportunity to go win a three in a row, three-peat. Be the first coach to do that since like the 60s or whatever. Right? Like, you're talking about real legacy and going down as one of, basically cementing his college career as one of, if not the best coaches ever. And I see so many people that are like, who cares about being a college coach? Pretty much every great historically all-time great head coach ever. Like, almost all of the NBA and their philosophies and systems came from college. The 5-out, the Princeton offense, elements of the triangle. Like, think of the most historic coaches in the NBA. All of them basically implemented their systems from college. It's just, John Wooden is the godfather of coaching, right? You have Tark, you have so many. It's just, again, I want him to come, right? I want him to because I want the if he comes, it signals the clear change and direction in which the Lakers are going to operate by. Now, they're still going to be chasing stars. They're still going to be trying to do a lot of the same things that the Lakers do. But this would be a clear-cut signal that, hey, we're moving in a new era, new direction, laying a new foundation, right? We're changing a lot of our philosophies. And I think that the Lakers, they need that shakeup, right? We're not in the era where, yes, the Lakers name is still the name. It still has a lot of pull. There are still a lot of NBA players and a lot of NBA stars that would love to wear the purple and gold and be a Laker. But the financial and big market incentive isn't as big as it once was. And a lot of these, European guys are coming in and taking over the league, and they don't care, right? They're not living here. They're not staying here in the off season. So they don't really care, right? They're just coming in, doing their job, and then going back to their country, right? That's just how it is. So to me, it's like the NBA as a whole is changing. We need to make sure we're evolving as well. And I think Dan would be the guy that signals that. But we'll see. Time will tell. We're all on pins and needles, and we're going to find out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that he's going to do it? Do you think that he's not? You on pins and needles as well? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now, subscribe channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.